My name is Sophie and at 26 years old.
I met Victor, 29, at a friend's housewarming party 2 years ago. He was everything I thought I wanted: handsome, funny, ambitious. We hit it off immediately, and within 3 months we were official. By our 1 year anniversary, he'd moved into my apartment. Looking back, the red flags were there. I just had rose-colored glasses super glued to my face. It started small. He'd borrow my car and return it with an empty tank. He'd forget his wallet when we went out. He'd make plans with my friends without asking me first. But I was in love, so I made excuses. He was just comfortable with me. He was stressed from work. He grew up differently than me. The turning point came 6 months ago. I had gotten a promotion at work. Senior software developer, nice salary bump. Took Victor out to celebrate at this fancy steakhouse. He ordered the most expensive everything, which was fine. I was celebrating. But then he said something that made my blood run cold.
Now that you're making real money, we should start looking at houses.
I already talked to a realtor friend about neighborhoods.
You already talked to a realtor about buying a house?
Well, yeah, we've been together over a year. It's time to take the next step. Oh, and I think we should get a joint account. Makes everything easier. Something about the way he said it, like it was already decided, set off every alarm bell in my head. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the little things, how he never talked about his job, but always had money for shopping, how he was vague about his past relationships, how he got weird whenever I suggested meeting his family. That's when I called my sister Riley. Riley's 5 years older than me and has been a licensed private investigator for 8 years.
We weren't super close growing up,
but we'd gotten tighter since our dad passed 3 years ago. I hadn't told Victor that Riley was a PI. Just said she worked in corporate security, which wasn't technically a lie.
Hey, Night Owl, what's up? Riley answered on the second ring.
I need a favor, a professional one. I'll pay your full rate.
This about Victor? How did you dash? I'm a PI, dummy. Plus, you sound like someone kicked your puppy. What's going on?
I explained everything. The little things, the house comment, the gut feeling that something was off. Riley listened without interrupting. All right, she finally said. I'll take the case, but we do this by the book. Contract, payments, the whole deal. And you better be prepared for whatever I find.
I just need to know if I'm being paranoid. In my experience, when someone's gut is screaming this loud, they're usually not.
Update 1. Riley was thorough, scary thorough. She started showing up at my place when Victor was at work, acting like she was just visiting her little sister. Victor seemed to buy it, even got chummy with Riley. They'd chat about TV shows, swap recipes. Victor had no idea Riley was memorizing every word, every detail.
Your boyfriend's interesting, Riley told me during one of our sibling lunches.
Really? Case updates?
He's got 3 different stories about where he went to college, depending on who asks. 3. Told me he went to state. Told your friend Marcus he went to university up north. Told your neighbor he did online school. Maybe he's just confused. Riley gave me a look. He's also given me 2 different last names for his mother. And that job he has at the marketing firm, I called? They've never heard of him. My sandwich turned to cardboard in my mouth. He's unemployed.
Oh, he's employed, just not where he says. I'm still tracking that down. But here's the kicker. Remember how he said he's allergic to cats? Yeah, sorry. Yesterday at lunch, petting every cat at the cat cafe on 5th Street. Stayed there for an hour. The hits kept coming. Victor claimed his ex was abusive, but Riley found social media posts from him. Dude was happily married, with kids living across the country. Victor said he was an only child, but Riley found a brother. Said brother wouldn't talk to Riley, but did say, "Good luck with that psycho," before hanging up.
By month 2, Riley had enough for a small novel, but she wanted to be thorough.
I think he's got another girlfriend, Riley said during update lunch number 8. I nearly choked on my coffee.
What? Been following him on Tuesdays and Thursdays when he says he's at yoga. He goes to an apartment complex on the other side of town. Stays about 2 hours. Always comes out with his hair redone and fresh makeup. Maybe he has a friend there. Maybe. That's why I'm not jumping to conclusions. Could be innocent, but combined with everything else.
Update 2.
6 months. 6 months of Riley investigating, me pretending everything was normal, and Victor pushing harder for that joint account and house hunting. He'd even started leaving real estate listings on my laptop. Then last Tuesday happened. I came home from work to find Victor in my apartment with someone I didn't recognize, a woman about my age, dressed in an expensive suit. Babe, perfect timing, Victor said, jumping up to kiss me. This is Isabella, the realtor I told you about. She was in the neighborhood, and I invited her up to discuss our options.
Our options for what?
For our house, silly. I know you've been dragging your feet, so I thought I'd take initiative. Isabella stood extending her hand with a practiced smile. Your boyfriend has excellent taste. He's particularly interested in the Riverside development. Pre-approval should be easy with your income.
My income? Well, both your incomes, Victor explained. His freelance work is variable. I looked at Victor. He had that smile. The one that used to make me melt, but now made my skin crawl. Isabella, I appreciate you coming by, but we're not ready to buy anything. In fact, we haven't even discussed this.
Seriously, Victor's smile flickered. Babe, don't be ridiculous. We've talked about this multiple times. No, you've talked. I've listened. There's a difference.
Isabella sensed the tension. Perhaps I should leave you two to discuss this.
That would be best, I said.
After she left, Victor turned on me. What the hell was that? You embarrassed me. I embarrassed you? You're bringing random realtors to my apartment without asking.
Our apartment?
No, Victor, my apartment. My name's on the lease.
Oh, so now you're keeping score. Real nice. I thought we were building a life together. Are we? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're building a life with my money.
He stepped back like I'd slapped him. I can't believe you just said that.
Really? Because Riley's been finding some interesting things about your job at that marketing firm.
The color drained from his face. Riley, your sister? What does she have to do with anything?
That's when the door opened. Riley walked in, professional as always, carrying a folder. Hey, Victor, she said calmly. We need to talk.
Victor looked between us, realization dawning.
Oh my God, your sister knows everything about us.
Not everything, I said. Just the important stuff. Like how you don't actually work at Bransom Marketing, or how you've been spending your Tuesdays and Thursdays at Isabella's apartment.
You've been spying on me?
Riley stepped forward. I was hired to investigate some concerns. And boy, did I find concerns. Want to tell her about Isabella, or should I?
Victor's face went from pale to red. This is insane. You're both insane. Isabella is just a friend. A friend whose apartment you leave with fresh makeup and redone hair. Riley asked, a friend who posts couple selfies with you on her private Instagram?
Those aren't, she's just... Or should we talk about the 3 credit cards you've applied for using this address, the ones you had sent to your P.O. box? Riley continued.
I felt my legs go weak. Credit cards. She hasn't activated them yet. Thank God. But he tried.
Also, remember that weekend last month when he visited his sick mother? He was in Vegas with Isabella. I have receipts. Victor was cornered, and he knew it. But instead of coming clean, he doubled down.
So what? So what? You've been lying to me for months. Having your sister pretend to be my friend? That's psychotic. No, I said, finding my voice. What's psychotic is lying about your entire life. What's psychotic is trying to manipulate me into buying a house so you could, live there with Isabella while I pay the mortgage.
You don't understand. Isabella and I have history. We're complicated. Were you ever going to tell me? I was going to break up with Isabella. I chose you.
No,
Riley interjected. You chose his money. Isabella's a bartender living paycheck to paycheck. Sophie here just got promoted.
The truth hung in the air like smoke. Victor's mask had finally slipped completely. Get out, I said quietly. You can't just kick me out. I live here. I have rights.
Actually, Riley said, pulling out her phone, you don't. You're not on the lease. You don't receive mail here officially, and you've been living here less than a year. You're a guest, and your invitation just got revoked.
I'll sue. I'll tell everyone what you did. You'll be sorry.
Tell them what?
That you're a pathological liar who got caught? That you tried to commit fraud with those credit cards?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention. Applying for credit in someone else's name is a felony.
Victor's bravado crumbled. I didn't use his name. No, but you used his address without permission for financial documents. Still fraud adjacent. Plus, I'm pretty sure Isabella's girlfriend would love to know about you.
Isabella doesn't have a girlfriend.
Riley smiled. Yeah, she does. Has for 3 years. You're the side chick, honey.
Watching Victor process this was like watching a building implode in slow motion.
Update 3.
Victor left that night, but not quietly. He screamed, he cried, he begged. He tried every manipulation in the book. When that didn't work, he got nasty.
You'll never find anyone like me.
That's the plan, I replied, holding the door open. You're throwing away 2 years. Sunk cost fallacy. Learned about it in the business class you pretended to take.
He grabbed what he could carry and stormed out. I changed the locks the next morning, but Victor wasn't done.
Oh no, he was just getting started.
Day 1, post-breakup. He showed up at my work. Security had to escort him out when he wouldn't leave the lobby. He told them he was my fiancé and that I was having a mental breakdown. Thank God my boss was understanding when I explained the situation. Day 3. He got a friend, Melissa, to call me. Melissa tried to convince me that Victor was going through something and I should be more understanding. I asked Melissa if she knew about Isabella. She didn't. That call ended quickly. Day 5. Victor's mom called. Plot twist. The woman Victor claimed was dead was very much alive and pissed. Turns out Victor owed her money too. We had a lovely hour-long conversation about all the things he had done to his family. Her parting words, "I'm sorry he got you too. At least you figured it out before he baby-trapped you." Week 2. The real estate agent, Veronica, called me. Victor had given her my number as the primary contact for the house hunt. When I explained we'd broken up, she got quiet. Then did he happen to mention he already put a deposit down on a viewing with your credit card information? My blood ran cold. What? He said you authorized it. Gave me a car number and everything. We ran it yesterday. Thank God for Riley's paranoia. She had me freeze all my cards the night we kicked Victor out. The charge was declined. Listen, Veronica, he's my ex. We're not buying anything. And that credit card thing, that's fraud. OMG, I had no idea. He seems so legitimate. Had all your information. Yeah, that's his specialty, I said. Week 3. Isabella showed up at my apartment. Not to fight, just to commiserate. Turns out Riley had reached out to her actual boyfriend, Ryan, with evidence of the affair. Ryan kicked her out, and he'd pieced together Victor's lies, too. I'm sorry, Isabella said, looking genuinely remorseful. I didn't know about you. He told me he was single, living with a gay roommate. Told me he was a yoga instructor. We actually grabbed a beer. We compared notes on Victor's lies. The man had basically created 2 entirely different personas for us. Week 4. Victor made one last play. He sent me a long email about how he was pregnant, and it was mine. Riley, beautiful genius that she is, had already pulled Victor's pharmacy records legally through her investigation. Birth control pills filled monthly like clockwork. Plus, the timing didn't add up. He was claiming to be 8 weeks pregnant, but we hadn't been intimate in over 2 months. Math wasn't his strong suit, apparently. I forwarded the email to my lawyer. Yes, I got one, who sent him a cease and desist letter. The pregnancy claims mysteriously disappeared after that. Final update. It's been 6 months since the great revelation. Victor eventually gave up when he realized I wasn't budging. Last I heard through the grapevine, he'd moved to another state to start fresh, which probably means finding a new mark. Isabella and I still grab beers occasionally. Weird friendship, but hey, trauma bonds are real. She's working things out with Ryan in couples counseling. Turns out getting played by the same psycho is actually bringing them closer together. Life's funny like that. Riley's business has exploded. Apparently, word got out about how she handled my case, and now she's got a waiting list of people wanting their partners investigated. She bought me dinner last week to thank me for the inadvertent advertising. Best case I ever had, she said over sushi. The documentation alone was beautiful. Victor was so confident he didn't even try to hide half of it. Glad my pain could be your gain. Hey, I saved you from buying a house with a con artist. You're welcome. She's not wrong. I've been in therapy, working through the trust issues because, when someone lies to you that thoroughly for that long, it messes with your head. My therapist says I'm making good progress. I'm not ready to date yet, but I'm getting there. The funniest part? About a month ago, I got a LinkedIn request from Victor. His profile said he was a senior marketing director at a company I'd never heard of. A quick search revealed the company didn't exist. Some habits die hard, I guess. I showed Riley the profile. She laughed so hard she nearly fell off her chair. Should we warn people? I asked. Already on it, she said, pulling up her laptop. About a whole network now. We track people like him. He won't get far. Is that legal? Sharing publicly available information about someone's employment history? Completely legal. Protecting other people from fraud. Consider it a public service. Looking back, hiring Riley was the best money I ever spent. $3,000 for 6 months of investigation work that saved me from financial ruin, a mortgage with a con artist, and God knows what else he had planned. The moral of the story, trust your gut. When something feels off, it probably is. And if you're lucky enough to have a PI in the family, use them. Worth every penny. Oh, and Victor, if you're reading this, Isabella says, hi. She also says you still owe her $500 for that Vegas trip. Ryan's lawyer will be in touch.